In this video, we're going to show you how to install the upper control arm on your INFINITI G37 X, located behind your front wheels. Using a 21mm socket, loosen and remove your lug nuts. Now in our particular vehicle, we have a locking lug nut. We have the key to remove it. If you just have a standard lug nut, go ahead and take it off. Once you have those removed, remove the wheel and set it aside. With the wheel removed, you now access the upper control arm right here. Now the ball joint goes through the knuckle here, and it's held in place by this 12mm bolt and nut as a pinch bolt application. We're going to use our 14mm socket on the nut side and a 14mm wrench on the other. Before we pull this apart, you want to have some sort of securing strap ready to go. I'm going to pull down on this upper control arm and then push that bolt out. The upper control arm may want to spring out. Hold on to the knuckle when this is happening. Now we don't want this to pull too far out. This is the reason for the securing strap. So use a securing strap and anchor it onto the body somewhere. With the knuckle supported, we now want to access the two bolts here that hold the upper control arm to the body of the vehicle. Using a 14mm socket and ratchet, I want to go ahead and loosen the upper control arm bolts. If you have a gear wrench, you can switch over to that. It's going to help you be a little more efficient time-wise and clearance-wise. Now on some of these vehicles here, the coil spring itself may interfere with the removal of the bolt. You can see that our bolt is coming out and we can pull this out. Now sometimes the coil spring will be in the way. If it does interfere, you want to go up inside the engine compartment, and on the top of your strut assembly, there's going to be three 12mm nuts you need to loosen and remove. And then the strut itself will gently come down as you push on the suspension, and then you'll have clearance to get that bolt out. Now that we got this one out, let's repeat for the back bolt. So remove our upper control arm on the inboard portion here. There's a rubber insulator. When installing the upper control arm, our particular vehicle only had one of these rubber discs on the inboard portion of the control arm. So we want to reinstall that. Good, line this up into the body and tap that in. Go ahead and get that bolt started a few threads. And we'll go ahead and repeat for the forward bolt. You may have to grab the ball joint here to line up with the knuckle. Line that up. Now if you go to install the bolt and it jams up halfway in, that means that the notch in the ball joint is not lined up. So just move this around a little bit so you can get the bolt through. Install your nut. At this point here, what we want to do is snug this down. Before we tighten the two inboard bolts, what we need to do is use our pole jack underneath our lower control arm. We're going to jack this up to what we call a neutral ride height. That means if we had the wheel on the car and on the ground, it would compress our suspension to where the average ride height is, and then we would torque this down. We're going to torque the upper control and bolts to 52 foot-pounds. Now that these are torqued, we can go ahead and remove our jack from underneath the vehicle. Go ahead and remove your securing strap. Let's torque this down to 41 foot-pounds. Go ahead and install your wheel. I'm going to go ahead and get all of our lug nuts started by hand. Once we get all of these started, we're going to go ahead and snug them down. We have our locking key. Go ahead and torque down your lug nuts to 80 foot-pounds. We're going to use our locking key first. Then we'll continue with the rest in a crisscross pattern. And you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.